Have you ever thought about a career within human resources but aren't really sure exactly how to get started? Well, you've come to the right place. Before I get started, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a moment of whenever I upload a new video. Well, guys, welcome back to my channel. What we're going to discuss today, as you can see in the title, is my top 10 tips on how to break into HR. So let's get into it. Tip number 10, resumes. Make sure that you relate your resume to the job description that you're applying for. You want to take key phrases or key words out of each job description to try and kind of relate it to what the employer is looking for, so that you can make sure that whenever they're doing like a search, they're actually pulling those particular keywords, and so that they can be able to pull up your resume a little bit faster. It's okay to reach out to the HR professionals on LinkedIn and ask if they can review your resume or even give you tips on how to interview. Tip number 9 is doing internships. Entry-level roles. Attempt to land multiple positions within the same company, or even do like job shadowing to determine if this is even the right fit for you. A lot of times people get into a job and they do it over time and decide that this isn't really what they're looking for. They want something a little bit different. So job shadowing is definitely something that I would highly recommend doing, just to see if this is the type of field that you're actually interested in. The American Red Cross, I actually did my internship with them. It was actually a eye-opening position. I was surprised by how many different roles that they actually had within the company, because a lot of times you just hear about them, being out on the forefront, assisting with any types of rescue and trauma. But they have so many different departments as far as making sure that people are eating and doing spiritual therapy and things of that nature, and going out into the community and replacing smoke detectors. And there's a wide range of things that the American Red Cross actually does. So I would highly recommend doing internships, because you gain a lot of experience by doing internships. You just basically are learning every aspect within that company under a scope of what your particular school might be interested in, as far as like your curriculum of what they want you to actually learn. So definitely anytime an internship comes up within human resources, or any type of field that you're going into, I strongly recommend doing internships, because like I said, my experience was amazing. I learned a lot. In my role now, there's a lot of reports that I have to actually do, so just getting that extra experience and understanding of pulling the reports and examining the report, and then trying to filter out the report and things like that. So I definitely learned a lot from doing my internship with the American Red Cross. All right, number 8, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Make sure that you're practicing interviewing with your friends, your family members. Record yourself. Face yourself in the mirror. Just stand there. Learn all of your different facial expressions to try and control them to a point where you're just smiling and you're keeping direct eye contact. Try to be poised and sit up straight. Don't slouch. And like I said, just make sure that you maintain at all times constant eye contact. If you have to look away for a few seconds, make sure that you're looking right back at the interviewer, so that they know that you're very getting ready to try and go into a little bit more information about how you are the best candidate for this particular position. You want to be relaxed, go into the interview with a clear mind, just understanding that you want this position, and the way that you're going to get this position is by selling yourself. You have to sell yourself. You know, put on your salesman hat, and if you can sell a pair of shoes, if you can sell, you know, a hot dog, if you can sell whatever, you should be able to sell yourself as well. So that's the, and look for key context clues and fire away. It's just basically just like a conversational tennis match. You're basically waiting for those context clues to come to you, and you're hitting the ball out of the park. Make sure that you hit a powerful return. So go in and wow the interviewer. Make that interviewer always remember, okay, well, Tracy came in here and, you know, he answered all my questions. He even had questions at the end of the interview that were very impressive. I definitely want to give him another call so that we can try and set up a second interview or a third interview, or even offer him the position. You know, make that interviewer never forget who you are. And then also, after you're done with the interview, make sure that you're following up with them. I can't stress enough how important it is to send that thank you email or that thank you letter, or you know, just contacting the department after you leave and just let them know that, hey, you know, I'm very interested in this position. These are the key reasons why I feel that I am the best person for this particular position. And you know, this is my contact information, and I look forward to hearing back from you. So just make sure that you always are in your selling mode, and it's all about sales. So got to get those numbers. So just like I said, just keep on practicing. Practice makes perfect. Number 7, watching YouTube videos and doing research on Google. I think it's very important that you research and try and find different techniques. You can't always go into every interview or complete your resume the same way each time, because each job is different. Each interviewer is looking for something different. Even the questions that they might ask might be a little bit different. So always looking for those additional techniques, just so that you can always have it in your mind. And like I said, in step 8, you know, you want to practice some more, so that anytime that the interviewer throws out a different question for you, you're already ready for it. One YouTuber that I actually follow that has helped me with my interviewing techniques was Thompson, Career Advice. She's pretty animated, and she always you know, gives great advice about how to approach the different interviewers and what words to look for whenever you're doing the interview. So I think it's amazing what you can find on YouTube. There's so many different avenues that you can find on there. So I definitely recommend using YouTube as your resource. Tip number 6, gain experience before graduate school. So many roles require a 2 to 3 year experience related to the job field. So before you actually decide to go to graduate school, I would suggest, sorry, I would suggest that you basically go and get the experience that you need in order to gain exposure, so that you can find these jobs, so that you can begin your career. One thing, like I said previously, you want to make sure that you try and do like internships and mentorships, and try and get your name out there, and even do volunteer work with different organizations to try and get that additional experience, so that you can be able to you know, land that job that you're looking for. I suggest getting your bachelor's in interning or accepting an entry-level role, just to get your foot in the door. And then once you're in the door, get your company to try and go ahead and pay for your master's degree or any certifications that you plan on getting to perform your duties. I had to actually get 2 master's degrees and a bachelor's before I broke into the HR field. So because I didn't have the experience during the time, had more education than I had experience. It took me a little bit longer to break into the field. So I highly recommend getting your bachelor's or associates and then gaining the experience by doing internships, mentorships, volunteering, and then building your career from that, and then going further and get your master's so that you can get the higher paying job, of course. Okay. Tip number 5, doing nonprofit or startup companies. These companies may pay a little bit less than the bigger companies, but the experience that you'll gain is way more valuable because, like I said, a lot of companies are looking for that 2 to 3 year experience. But if no one's willing to give you the experience, a lot of times the nonprofits and the startup companies are looking for entry-level employees to try and, assist with the day-to-day activities within the organization. So by going through the nonprofits, you gain a lot of experience, and a lot of times you get more experience within the nonprofits than you actually do with the for-profit organizations. So I think just keeping that in mind and going on different sites like nonprofittalent.com. They have a lot of different positions there that you can look for within your local area. Also going on Indeed.com, doing a lot of research and applying to different positions there. One thing that I've found that going through my journey, a lot of people didn't tell me that oftentimes you're actually looking for positions that are just have HR within the title. That's not neither here nor there. You don't actually have to look for HR roles. You just have to look for something that is geared towards HR. So for like a HR generalist, you will want to do like a office manager position or a administrative assistant, because those particular roles is what within the job description of a HR generalist or a HR coordinator is built off of. So you want to try and find like different jobs that gear towards that particular role so that you can gain that experience and be able to use those skills to sell yourself whenever you go for your interviews. Hey, I might not have been in the HR field, but I have these similar skills and I'm able to bring that to the table. So yeah. Tip number 4, job shadowing and mentorships. You want to connect with different HR professionals on LinkedIn. There's tons of HR professionals that are willing to assist in any way that they can because, we love what we do. We want others to flourish in the field, especially new graduates. We want them to make sure that, everyone has to go through their channels of trying to break into their career. Once you get into that career, we want to make sure that that particular person is, taking the baton and running the finish line so that the next generation will come up and, will make the HR field a lot better and innovative and, just continue this journey. Well, I'm a member of the PHRA, which is the Pittsburgh Human Resource Association, and a lot of times we have a lot of different networking events that we go through. We also have we recently connected with Lattice, which is a mentorship community where you basically connect current members with incoming members or anyone trying to break into the HR field, or it doesn't even have to be the HR field, just someone trying to learn a little bit more about HR from construction worker or a CEO or anyone just trying to learn that extra knowledge about HR and what we do and how they can improve the organization as a whole. So we'll go into step number 3, which is get certified. Now, although you don't need to be certified to break into the human resource field, it's always an extra added bonus to get certified, because then you can stand out a little bit further in the organization. And so whenever you're applying to different jobs and someone sees certification, they're like, okay, well, this person has the education, they have the knowledge, they're able to perform the job. Let's give them a chance to try and prove that to us. There's different certificates that you can actually apply for. Right now, if you have no experience, you can actually get the APHR, which is the Associate Professional Human Resource Certificate. That you don't need any experience at all. You just need a high school diploma or a GED in order to apply for that. It's about 100 questions with I think 25 additional questions that you would go through the test. I believe the test is about $400 now, like $399 or $349 plus $100 for the application fee, something around that. So don't quote me, but I'll probably add the price somewhere in here. I'll also drop in a list of different certificates that you can actually get through SHRM. SHRM is the Society of Human Resource Management, and they are the national brand of all of everything HR. So everything pretty much goes through them. Any new organizations or any new laws that are being passed usually goes through them, and then they trickle down to all the other companies so that they can assist with the different organizations for that. So that brings me to step number 2, join your local SHRM chapter. You'll be able to meet a mentor, you'll be able to meet your next colleague, just different events that are held within these different organizations. Like for myself, I am a member, as I stated before, with the Pittsburgh Human Resource Association, where we perform different events. We're actually getting ready for the Martin Luther King Day event here in January. So we have a couple months to go before that transpires. So we just want to make sure that we try and get everything situated for that. But there are tons of different organizations. Every year we have the PHRA conference where we get to meet different HR professionals and other professionals in the field, where we all come together and have different speakers discuss everything HR and different laws that are being passed, and it's actually a pretty good time. I know last year I attended our Christmas party, and we actually had a murder mystery where they had a organization come in and perform a actual mystery of who killed this person or who took this particular law in their own hands, and we had to decide exactly who it was by being placed with different clues and going around and asking different questions and interacting, and it was a pretty interesting, because it was like you had to be engaged in order to find the clues, and if you didn't ask the right questions, then you weren't really following up. So same thing happens with when you're going on interviews. If you're not following up with those good questions, or open-ended questions rather, then you're not going to get the information that you actually need in order to propel to the next level. So yeah, so I definitely join your local chapter. You'll have access to a ton of different resources via their websites. I know for SHRM, if you access their website, they have different articles, such as like templates that you can use on your day-to-day of your job. Like if you're doing like a new job description and you need a reference, then you can go on their website and actually look at their diagram of how to actually put it together. There's also information on there about OSHA, things with OSHA as far as like the new mandate that's about to come in January. There's a lot of different information that you can get off of their websites. With the PHRA and having the different events and having the different meetings, we basically put forth like our different goals for the year of how we want to make the organization a lot better and move and run smoothly throughout the year. So just having that added camaraderie of wanting to make this field even better than what it is already is just, it's just remarkable. You know, I love what I do. I've been an HR generalist since April now. Previously, I worked as a HR assistant for a well-known hospital here in Pittsburgh. I did that for a few months. Now I have my MBA with a graduate certificate in human resources. I also have my MA in human resources and employment relations, as well as a bachelor's in technical management with a concentration in sales and marketing. So I've been trying to break into the HR field for a while. So I actually went a different route, which this will be a different video, so I'll tell you a little bit about how I got started into HR. So we'll wait till the next video to talk a little bit more about that. So let's move into tip number 1. Can you guess what it is? Can you? It is the number 1 tip. Network, network, network. Always be networking. I can't stress that enough how important it is, because this business thrives off networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know. I can't stress that enough. You know, feel free to jump in anyone's DM, professionally, of course. But you want to make sure that you reach out to other professionals to say, hey, can you take a moment to look over my resume and tell me if I need to make a change, or is there any wording that I should be able to use, or is there a specific format that I need to use? Maybe meet up for at Panera Bread for lunch and discuss anything as far as, you know, interviewing techniques. A lot of times, a lot of the professionals are willing and able and ready to assist at a drop of a dime. I know I met my mentor through LinkedIn. She has been remarkable. She's taken me under her wing. She didn't really have to do that, but she's taken me under her wing and introduced me to so many different people and gave me that added push to build my confidence within this field so that I can, you know, go a little bit further. So I can't stress that enough. Just make sure that you're always networking, always thriving to improve, always be willing to learn new things. You know, there's not always just one way of doing things. You can always, if you can find an innovative way of maneuvering around a particular law to where you come out with the same outcome, by all means, feel free to do so. But these have been my 10 tips to breaking into HR. Stay tuned for the next video where I tell you a little bit about how I broke into the HR field. But these are some of the tips that I've learned over the years as I've maneuvered through trying to get into my career. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are able to take something from it, and I hope to see you at the next event, and I wish you well. But before you go, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a moment when the next time I upload a new video. All right, that's my time. Peace.